Okay, so this is chapter 1b, lesson 6, task 1. And all we're looking at here is we're looking at some of the cardiac values when we've been talking about the heart. And it's really important that we get these accurate and correct. Now, a really simple one is heart rate. Heart rate is just simply the number of times your heart beats per minute. So number of times heart beats per minute. What's really important is you always have to put values in with these measurements. If you don't put in the values, you are not demonstrating that you clearly understand what it is you're talking about. Now, resting units, they believe is about 72 beats per minute. And you can find out your resting heart rate by lying down for 5 minutes in a quiet room, taking your heart rate over a minute, and that will give you your resting heart rate. So it's number of times your heart beats per minute. And if you want to go on further, you could research the difference between someone like Mo Farah and yourself and compare what your resting heart rates might be and then why that might be in place. Stroke volume is the amount of blood or volume of blood ejected. So that leaves the left ventricle per beat. So you need to find out where is the blood going to from the left ventricle. Why would it be the left ventricle and not the right ventricle? And you should be looking into those. Now this one, because it's a volume, will be milliliters. And they say the average is 70 milliliters. Again, you could do additional research and being like, what is a stroke volume for Mo Farah, potentially from yourself, or a trained athlete versus untrained. You won't be able to measure your stroke volume yourself. Cardiac output is something that we summarize both of them. So cardiac output is equals to heart rate, multiply it by stroke volume, equals Q. And this is done in litres per minute. So it should be much higher. So if we take example and we say that the heart rate is 70 beats per minute, times it by a stroke volume of 70 milliliters, that would be equals Q will be 5 litres, around about 5 litres per minute. You can also say 5,000 milliliters if you wanted to. And it's interesting for you to find out the differences between all of those. Now, the way that I comment on it is that it is supply versus demand. So what would happen to these two during exercise? What am I demanding more of in exercise than I am at rest? Why would there be a change in these values at rest compared to at exercise? And you can see that at A level we call it submaximal and maximal. At GCSE we call that aerobic and anaerobic. So this is 60 to 80%, and this will be 80% plus 80%. Okay? So make sure that you're able to state these words quite closely word for word. And you will also need to have examples of the units as well. So that is chapter 1b, lesson 6, task 1.